Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to part 3 of the TOS Enterprise build. Today we're going to be doing some of the lighting and talking about some of the lighting in the upper saucer, so let's head over to the bench and take a look. Well, here's where we're at. We got flashing lights working. You can see them going off on the bottom. I don't know if maybe I can lift this up without it. We got the nav lights. I got to adjust the speed yet. I think I want to go a little slower. So our flash board's working. Everything's working good. Take this top off. So pretty much the bottom is done. Yeah, and we got all the windows. Planetary sensor. Impulse engines are flickering and looking good. And we got our two flashes for the side and the bottom, and both sides working. Nice. I just want to dust these windows with some, lightly with some little white. I think that's going to help with the diffusion and make them a little more on the white side. They're a little more yellow than I really want them to be, especially in contrast with those, but I think that'll help it. And once it's all lit up, it's nice to have some different shades, but I wanted the windows to look like, you know, the antique incandescent bulbs that were in the original. So another good thing I found for light blocking these windows, tulip. Hit them with some black, your normal black paint. You would use a flat black, and then you can just go back with tulip. I was like, oh yeah, because I wanted to do it on the top saucer because I noticed a little bit of a light leak in the seams. So I just took a little tulip and went right in those seams there, and that killed that. And I had to come down a little bit on these areas where these windows are, where they notched it kind of. I had to hit those too, but that cured it. No more light leak. And then also what I did on the top, got the windows in. In these two here, that in the areas that have the notch, these windows on each side, I had to put a little canopy glue because the window plastic does not fit in there quite correctly. And also I cut it from the main piece because it was supposed to be one piece. I actually broke it apart so it would sit better. I could get it pushed down more because this curve is not allowing it to sit in there right. So I did that on both ends so that way I could actually just put that one in by itself. Probably could have done it with these two, the two front ones, but they seem to seat in there pretty good. I could put a little more canopy glue in there because I see a little light hole. It filled it in on the outside, but so it might just be that it's that clear, but I'm going to just in case put a little bit more in there, make sure. But yeah, on the outside they look good. It filled the gaps. The canopy glue will go in there and fill those gaps nice, where there was a gap between the clear plastic and the actual hole in the hull. So that fixed that. Got my flashers in, my red and my green, for the top half, and started just laying out the lights that are going to shine down on here. I was thinking about doing something over top, and then on the instructions for the light kit from Gary, he gives you two styrene strips that you can put across here, and then he has it that you shine on one side of the strip facing that way. You put a strip, and then you put another strip on top to hit the light, but I like this more. It's definitely going to hit this back here better. And then I'll use those styrene strips to shine down in there. And I'm hoping it's going to give me a lot of light for the bridge. I mean, I'm assuming that these little pegs on the bridge are for little 3mm bulbs because they fit in there perfectly. And it is in the screen areas, main screen areas. But there's some more, like, okay, they got a light here, but there's some more screens over here, I believe. And that would like light up. And I'm going to just do a test. I'll do the 3 bulbs here and see what with the lights that are actually shining down from the strips that are to light these windows, I'm hoping we'll give some glow around there too. And then I gotta figure out how to light block this. How I want to do it. Do I want to spray the inside black and then scrape away areas, or at least maybe tape the monitor areas? So I gotta look at more at the Paragraphics photo etch instructions. You see if they have a solution. Sometimes they will. So what else? That's pretty much where the top is. So we're ready to jumper these together. But I got to get the bridge down before I do the styrene strips. I can at least jumper these together. And then these I need to tie. Oh, did you glue yourself overnight? Yes, you did. That's funny. It swung itself into the glue overnight. I even taped them so they would stay away from, when I put the top down, they didn't get pinched. Because that's going to be a trick too. I see that these are in line with this notch here, so I got to make sure these wires here, I'm going to have to tack down to the center so they get in here. So when they come down, that they line up with these notches. I mean, they're fairly thin wires, but I still don't want them to pinch because it won't take much to short them out. So that means my connector point has to be in here. And that pretty much goes the same for this. That's going to power these. It's got to come in the center, so I might have to make another notch here in the hull, like I did here, and bring that power one here so it's all in the center. So this is the only space you really have. You have to be below these little walls out here on the outer rim. So, but that's pretty much, I think, where we're at. I figured out what these little red nubs. I didn't like the little pointy. The way they wanted you to just put them in from the inside, and then they'd be these long little spikes. If you actually take them and put them from the outside, where they kind of have like a mushroom, and the mushroom was to stop it from the inside. So when you push it through, the mushroom part would actually, that's what you glued, and then the pointy part stuck out. I'm actually going to stick the pointy part in, leave the mushroom part out here. They look better as round bulbs than they do pointy little things that stick out way out like here. I mean, I could have trimmed them, but still. So, but yeah, I want to get these all connected. I just got to connect these to a connector, and put that end on it, so we can connect that to the flash board. Bottom, like I said, is pretty much done. I just want to frost these windows with some white acrylic, craft acrylic. That's pretty thin stuff, so it'll do it perfectly. Hot glued these to help secure those, and that made a difference. They're they're stiff. They don't feel like they're gonna break off or anything or move. Yeah, so that's where we're at. But yeah, definitely doing a good trick to mask the block off windows. Thick tulip, and I got 2 bottles of this stuff because it's great for like blocking seams and filling gaps and stuff like that. But I got this bridge to work on. That's next, because we got to get that before we can do much with the top. I got to get this in, which means I got to do some stuff for the photo etch. Grind those railings down so I can put the photo etch railings in, and get things ready for the displays and stuff. Well, let's loop these LED strips together. If this soldering iron's, yeah, I don't think so. First we're going to go through and tin all our connection points. I know I skipped this on the lower deck, but it's because it's really nothing special. It's just looping positive and negative. There we go. Now the way this is going to sit, since my power is on this side, on the bottom, I'm going to hook my SJT connector here. And that's going to feed everybody, and then we'll loop from here to here, from this one to that one to this one. And then from here I can loop over to those two that are there. And then the ones I'm going to put on the bridge, I can come off one of these center ones. Once I put the bridge in and have, I think I'm just going to try the 3 LEDs there, plus the wash that's coming down should do the trick. But we'll test. But yeah, I'll just come off one of these, probably like this one or something. And I keep putting the bridge in there and it falls out. I find with this tweezers, it makes it so much easier to move the wire where you want instead of your big hand. So that's why I like those tweezers. Hi, Jack. Bye, Jack. Jack making a cameo. That was a quick cameo too. Usually he likes to just hang out here and get petted. He just wanted to let me know you were here. Because I keep wanting to grab those because I see them in my peripheral vision. But I like these ones that you actually have to squeeze to open for this type of thing. And again, these saucers are fun to work on because they're like working on a rocking board. And then we don't have to do anything here because this is where we'll jump over to those. So we're done with the positive side. And you want to make sure your soldering gun is good and hot. A lot of people think that doing this you want it to cool so you don't melt or get these hot. But actually when it's cooler you're touching the terminals longer to get the solder to heat up, and it actually does the opposite. Then you're heating it up because then that low heat has time to transmit through and starts loosening the solder joints on all those. Or on a circuit board, you can start melting stuff. So the hotter it is, better, because then you can quickly just touch it and go. Oh, we don't even need this one. Yeah, we're done. That one's stripped for the next episode. That was pretty quick, actually. Pretty painless. There's only 4 of them, so not much big deal. And then I think from here we can connect to the SJ connector. Because like I said, these will go to these 2 strips. But he gave me 2 styrene strips, which I'll, kind of run like this. And another one like that. Try to come across here a little bit. Even though I'm thinking, because the windows are there. And I'll do the high density. I don't know if I need to use a double like this. Maybe I will. Because I did a test with the bulbs, and it works good for this front one. There's your main view screener, and they have one there. And that's all you need lit there, so that works great for there. And this one works okay for over here, but mainly this screen would be lit. These 2, especially this one, only gets a little bit. And then you have this hole back here that usually you always see lit up because there's communications and there's Spock's area. But they have it kind of in Spock's area. So, but I think all that wash from all these LEDs plus the ones on here should do it. It's a thick cardboard, but yeah, gives me strips that I can hopefully get a glue point over there. I brought the LED pretty close. There's enough to glue on there. There's nothing structural about this. Yeah, so that'll work. But yeah, he gives you some strips for that. Tack this then, and this will be able to hook to the power on the lower saucer. This one I think I'm going to cut down. I think this is more than enough length. Maybe not all the way, but it's going to have to come from the thing, and I want to get it into the center. So we'll see. There we go. But like I said, I don't think I need the full length. I think we can do maybe that much. If I go out that way, though, that's a lot of curving. Better just to make a notch here. Have it come straight out and make a notch there. So there ain't no other wires coming up here. It's just this power. Well, this is a shorty, but there'll be a main power that will come down. So we got to make that connector. I have just because I don't have a female and male like this. What this is I have the one end that's a cable, and this other end is supposed to actually be soldered to a circuit board or a breadboard, which I usually do. I have a whole bunch of big breadboards that I can cut in whatever small sizes. When I have ships like the EVA pod, I did that for all the button lights and everything. But this usually solders into a breadboard. But you can make it a connector. You just attach wires here and do a nice shrink tube over the whole thing. And there's your wire. Yeah, I usually cut breadboards to whatever size. What did I do with that connector? There it is. And then you solder these in, and you can have separate circuits come to one power source. The Falcon, I use this a lot. There I just used a connector for the main power coming from the power source, and then I just soldered the wires right in the rows. Because they were going to be permanent, I just wanted to be able to disconnect the main power. But you can do it where the EVA pod, I did all of it. I had the main power just soldered to a row, and then I soldered a bunch of these, and then I could connect the buttons, and then made one circuit. You can make how many circuits you want because I have them on switches. But yeah, It's in place now. Now let's get a little shrink tube there, and then we'll put a big piece over top the whole thing. There we go. And that gives that strain relief on there. And then I think it's one of these big ones. And this will give a good strain relief on the whole connector together. Sometimes it's good to then do a shrink tube over both of them and then do this, because it never will shrink down to the full size of where those little wires are, but sometimes you can, woo, it's hot. Sometimes you can get them to squish like that. There, it actually did it. Or they're squished together like that. Hopefully they'll reach and we don't need an extension. I want a good strip on these. There we go. Now, tiny wires to big wires, always fun. My hands are so dry from chemo, I can't pick most things up. So oil, it's amazing how much the oil's in your hands. Yeah, they would touch, that's perfect. It's amazing how much the oils in your hands help you pick things up. Especially small things. So, and I have, like I said, no oil, so I can't even spin them together. It's really hard. And then I use these to keep it from unspinning. Yep. And while we got this here, let's get it right onto this. I gotta get a new lighter. And even the twisting, like I said, it's taking so long because I have no oils in my hands. My hands are so dry, they're getting cracky. That's the wonderful side effects of chemotherapy. And we just hope it all connected. It's hard to tell because like they don't strip a lot of wire, like I said. I wish they'd give you a little more, like at least twice the size. There we go. I like to pinch those tops to do like we did with that. But it's usually hot, but you gotta do it when it's hot. my finger in the hot glue. Slack for the LEDs to go under. There we go. Yeah, and then I can put those strips right under there like that. Perfect. And then the way that's going to go down right next to where that connector is. Bam. Sweet. That is where we're at. So until next time, I'm going to start working on this bridge. Getting the photo etch ready and getting it painted up. Because that's holding us up. So, well, here she is. Got the lights on. I ran into a little problem when I connected the red and green to the jack that goes to the flashboard. They didn't work. Actually, these were working, and it turned off the bottom ones. It turned off those. Oh, and of course, you're gonna hit. We got a spread view part of the part. So you guys aren't sitting there doing that all the time. Yeah, the bottom ones went off. And I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then the top one's working, and I unplugged the top, and the bottom one started working. But I forgot. Same thing with the refit with that flashboard. Your colored ones are a different voltage than your whites. So your whites don't need a resistor because the resistor on the flashboard, it must be taking care of that. But I need a little bit more for the red and the green, so I had to put a 100 ohm resistor on both the red and the green. And the way I figured that out is I was like, it's the same flashboard I use for the refit and the same one for the NX1. And the refit I have, you know, you got 1, 2 white ones, 3, 4. Those are white on the bottom, you know. Yeah, you got what? 2 white ones, one on the top and one on the bottom. You got 2 white ones back here, and then 2 red and 2 green. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 8 bulbs running off that flashboard. It should work. For here, I'm only running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was like, why is it not working? And here I forgot that since these were colored, if I did white ones, they probably would have worked fine. But I like to do colored ones if I can, where, you know, helps, you know, with the color, with the little caps that are going to go on there, which I actually pre-painted already. I just painted the underneath of them, and then that's the green one. You stick it in there. I could probably take them off the tree, but yeah, it looks good. And enhance the color with the paint and the actual bulb being green. It works great. I can shut it off, and you can see we got them all working. And I'm getting a little light bleed out of that tiny little hole. I thought that would be completely blocked off, even with the top squish. So we might get a little color coming out of those little tiny ones too, which would be great, or light. I put that little cap in there. I don't know if you're going to see it because it's kind of dark. The little red spot on the bridge deck there. So that's going to look good. I just wanted to test that to see if that would look great. And it does. So let's get those back. Where did I put that container? But yeah. Try to lift this off without causing a mayhem, but yeah. All plugged in. These lights are working good. The ones that are shining down for the lights down here, and these are lighting up nice. The white mist in the windows white really helps. It really makes a a good deal. Let's turn this off so we don't short anything. But I just wanted to show you that these are all working. The only thing we got to do is do the bridge so we can get the rest of the lights shining up here. But that's where we're at. I just wanted to show you that everything we did is working great. As far as the saucer, for the most part, the wiring is all done. Well, we're good. I'm happy. Moving along. But I'm going to start working on figuring out what I need to do with this bridge. So until next time, see ya.